Hey guys, it is that time on which we go over what is new in Unveil. Now, today's content patch does not bring any new content, and I'm sorry, but it is for a good cause, and this is the last time a content patch will not come with content, alright? So, now in case you are desperate for new content and you're going like, why I can't play more Unveil official content, then I have something for you, because today we are starting the beta testing, and you can be a beta tester today. See, this is a beta test right now that we're going through in the early access. However, after building this content patch for like, what, 3 months? I'm going insane. I haven't been able to do any kind of new content, so now I'm desperate. I'm hungry to make new content, and I need some help to try that out before I actually release it to the beta testers, because it's going to be very unpolished before that. And I'm gonna let you play it, especially because I know you're hungry. So, but also I need the help, so, you know, it all evens itself out. So, you can sign up for the beta test by leaving a comment in the comment section below. You can also talk to me on Particle Studios Steam account, or you can send an email at support@particle.com.ar. Whatever the case may be, basically you will be just, you know, having to send over some feedback like you do in the beta testing, but more intensively. You know, things may not work. I mean, as long as you don't mind starting the same scenario over and over to try different things, then this is for you, because you're gonna be playing new content sooner. Otherwise, you can just wait a month and a half, maybe 2 at most, and you will get a new shiny content patch with a bunch of new stuff, including new scenarios and some new items, but we'll talk about that in a couple months. Anyways, back to the juicy part, the reason why you came to this video, and that is the announcement of the Extend content patch. Extend allows Unveil to be extended, modded by other people. It means now anyone with a little bit of experience in programming or RPG Maker, whatever the case may be, you get to now add scenarios to Unveil in a very streamlined fashion, and in a very streamlined way to share them as well. Now, we don't currently support Steam Workshop, unfortunately, since the game was made in RPG Maker and it uses Ruby as opposed to C. It is so impossible to actually use the Steam API for this. I'm still looking into it. I'm getting help from other 2 people that know a lot about this, but they're also quite lost on how to make it work with Ruby, especially in RPG Maker Ruby. So it may never happen, but modding exists way before Steam Workshop, and we don't necessarily need it. I mean, it's great, but we don't need it. For the meantime, we can post them on the modding subcategory in our discussion section of the Unveil Steam store page. Now, back to the important thing. Now, if you're an end user and you just care about playing the content, there may not be much stuff for you in this content patch. So I will actually focus on the few changes that you will notice on the very beginning, and then we're gonna jump on the modding part later on. And by the way, did I say just scenarios? You can also add your own items and crafting recipes. You can add your own simulation units. You can tweak the weather engine. You can do all sort of things. This is quite an interesting thing. So actually, even if you don't care, stay tuned, because this is a way to see what am I doing with the project you will have already invested on, right? And you need to know what is going on in the development. All right, so first, what has changed? What is coming to Unveil for now? Just a bunch of bug fixes for the most part. Few UI tweaks here and there. The speech bubble on the little guy is now centered, so there's more space overall, and I figure some others may actually need more space to write things. So it just looks better, and it has more space in case you need that extra few words. Just don't make a really long sentence. That's all. Then what else? Well, I fixed many things that you guys have been reporting as usual. You know, I take note and then I fix them. Performance. Let's talk performance. Apparently, about 3 or I think 4 people have reported issues with the game lagging with time. Now, I could not reproduce this in the ways they mentioned it, like playing for long periods of time, leaving it on the main screen for a long period of time, or pausing the game and leaving it there for a long period of time. I could just not go below the 59 FPS that it shows, even if it's 60, but it would stay still the same amount of FPS all the time. However, one user actually mentioned that it could be the fact that he has like 9 FFD show processes active on the background, and that means that that is the audio part, right? Like there is a lot of audio channels opened for Unveil for some reason. So I went ahead and did some tests, and apparently I could accumulate up to 300 opened mixers in the game. That doesn't mean 300 active channels. However, there is a possibility that is the case. So my script does clean up everything properly, but the script that handles the audio doesn't, and I didn't write that, so I had to go ahead and modify things so it actually clean up whenever I clean up things. So now there's there's always less than 20 active mixers, if you may. Actually not active there must be like 5 or 6, but never over 20 mixers existing in memory. So hopefully that helps free up space, and maybe that just works. If it doesn't, let me know and I will get around to fix it. Then some stability issues, some bug fixing. There was an issue with fishing crashing the game. That was actually a user interface related thing, but people fishing, especially they reported in fishing time for some reason, but it can happen anywhere. The game was crashing. Now it's not anymore. Yay, I finally found that an issue that exists since like the launch of the game, and I could never have like proper reports until now. So anyways, we done it. One less. Also, you will now notice that whenever you hit the play button, you will actually be presented with 3 options before you actually jumping into selecting a scenario, if you may. First, you get the scenarios, right? You get to pick what scenario you want to play on. The second one is free roam. It has been removed from all the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 scenario selector screen, and it has been moved to this screen because I believe this is a fairly different scenario, right? It's not really about completing it. This is the scenario in which you just free roam, right? So that has been removed from there, although it still requires you to unlock tier 3, that is completing tier 1 and part of tier 2, to be able to play it, just for new players to not dive in and just die horribly there and get frustrated with the game. And of course, now you get a third option, which is custom scenarios, which is pretty much all the mods you have installed, or all the custom scenarios you have installed. You get to see them there and you get to start them right there, which leads us to the main thing on this video, which is modding. Modding has been done in a very streamlined way. There is a lot of documentation, and there's going to be a few tutorial videos starting with the introduction to how you mod and how you can create a scenario for Unveil. Now, it is only for creating a scenario for Unveil on which you need RPG Maker. If you don't have it, you can still add items and do all sort of things, because adding items and else is done outside the project. The introductory video will actually explain why this is, and long version short is that you are not modifying the existing Unveil project, but instead you are using a dummy RPG Maker project to create maps, but that is it, right? And there's no organized way to add content modularly to an RPG Maker project. In fact, they all rely on absolute IDs. So if somebody creates an item with ID 200 and then somebody else does as well, only one can exist at the same time. With the platform that I built for modding Unveil, many people can create many items and the ID doesn't matter, right? The number doesn't matter, because we're using code names instead, right? We're using names made of letters, numbers, and underscores. So that is the improvement, right? And you can see that in many things. Also, you can still have like common events and so on. But anyways, I don't want to get too ahead of me. There is a tutorial for it if you want to take a look at it. Now, Basically, the way this works is that now in Unveil, the Unveil directory, there is a package folder on which you can add these .package extension folders in them that contain all the new items, assets. You can even replace existing game assets with this. You can do all sort of things. You can add your own simulation units, like say a campfire is. A campfire is a simulation unit. An open coconut in the ground is a simulation unit. It's pretty much those world events that have some simulation attached to them. You can create your own with this. It's not that well documented, that part, you know. The most documented part is creating new scenarios, right? So you can tell your own stories, right? And of course you can add your own items with recipes, and you get full control on the weather engine, so you can create really customized scenarios and maps that have the weather that you want it to be. Of course, you need to learn a little bit of the simulation before you actually just start tweaking things. Now, this has two great values to the game, this content patch does. One of them is, of course, if there are modders that want to make content for Unveil, then that means that they can do that and they can increase the amount of content and maps and so on that is available for the game, way more than I could think of and way more than I would have the time to make, right? So that is great. Content making does not directly depend exclusively on me anymore, which is important, right? And if you're a player, that also means that you get to play all this extra content, so it is good for you as well. Now, maybe the first may not have a fairly good quality because people are getting started, but with time, I'm pretty sure they can make even better maps than I do. So let's cross our fingers that happens. In either case, let's say that never kicks off. Still, it means that any advanced users or RPG Maker users, which I know there are many in the Unveil community, now get to have full control on the project, and they can do, well, I mean, pretty much full control on the project, and they can do whatever they want. They can tweak with things, they can tinker with this and that. That is the cool thing, right? They have power, they have control on it, and if you're that kind of person, you're gonna definitely appreciate the fact that it's all documented and you know where to tweak for stuff. If you want to do more advanced stuff like change mechanics or add mechanics or change the UI, you still need to wait for that documentation, but for most part you can just change things and see what happens. So I think it's pretty cool overall, even for advanced users. Even if there's no modding community that's gonna kick off, still I think this is important because it means that advanced users can get even more value out of Unveil. All right. Now, how are we gonna be sharing this packages? Well, I'm suggesting that if you create a mod that, especially if you want people to contribute to it, you just put it up on GitHub, right? And have people download it from there. Where can you communicate your mod, right? And let's say you don't have a GitHub, maybe you upload it on Dropbox, it doesn't matter. I am suggesting you go ahead and do it on the Unveil store page, right? You go to discussions or the community group, whatever, I get lost, but it's the discussion section, and then there is a modding and modding and packages section on which you click, and then you can start your own thread about your own mod, and you can keep editing the original thread with the latest link, and if it didn't change, then you just keep adding the changelog or what have you. You can add a message, you can respond to people that may have issues with it, right? So that's pretty much what I'm suggesting right now, that we keep there. And that should work for a while. And if we can't get Steam Workshop to work, that is all right. I mean, maybe RPG Maker wasn't a great choice, all right? But if it wasn't because of RPG Maker, I wouldn't be here, all right? Because this was a very, very, just a very ambitious project, and I needed a tool to help me get things done faster. All right, if this does well, we can do it again on another engine, way better with more experience. But anyways, I fear that might as well seize the power of RPG Maker. That is the very easy to use map editor with all the event system and so on, so people can create their own survival adventures and share them. I fear that was something that I need to do. Like, if I'm gonna be putting up with all the bad stuff of RPG Maker, I want to get one of the good stuff in as well. So I think I've done that now. Now, I am going to be tightening the development cycle for Unveil, the roadmap that I have on my mind. I'm gonna be removing one of those content patches, gonna, you know, leave it for after launch because we don't need it right now. We don't really need that thing. And basically it means there is only 2 content patches left before the launch of Unveil. One coming this year and the other one coming beginning next year. All right. So and after the second that second and last content patch, then we are gonna have like a couple months off or so we get the game polished, we take all of the feedback, we get it ready, and we make the actual launch of Unveil, where we actually expect to actually start growing the community as we should. Right now I don't want to, you know, spread the word too much because it is an early access project. It's not finished. It is only for those that are really hardcore survival gamers that really want to get this thing, you know, they want to play it, but I definitely you know, want to wait until the product is finished, stable, and which I think we're pretty much getting there, so I can actually say, hey, you should definitely buy this. And for the meantime, that is all. By the way, let your friends know that the price is going up whenever the game releases, so they may want to get it now. Just saying, no rush, but just saying. I wanna be clear about this. The price is going up. How much? I'm not telling you that, but it is going up. So if anyone has any friend like, oh, I'm waiting for a sale, this is the sale. Okay, then it's going up. So that is all. That is all for now. I'm gonna go back to work so I can make that next content patch that actually comes jam-packed with content, so you can all enjoy way more of Unveil. You have no idea how much it can be done with this simulation engine, so you'll see it on that content patch. But for now, that is all. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.